Hey yogis, this is Renee at Black Sheep Yoga. Today we're going to do something new. I'm offering you a 6-week series of videos that all connect with one theme. Each week you'll be asked to practice one type of meditation for the whole week. And then the next week we'll move on to another one. The practice is called Eliminate the Bullshit, and it starts today. And the 40th day will be May 11th. So if you want to jot that down, it's May 11th. The last video will go up May 7th. So each week we will review a different concept. Today will be what is mindfulness. I'm going to walk you through a little slide tutorial of that. And then next week we will do metta meditation. Some of you have already done it with me. And the following week we will do Who Am I meditation. It's funny because it's one of my favorites and I forgot. Who Am I? The following will be forgiveness and then vipassana. And the last week we'll use to review. So all I ask from you in order for this to be effective is that you commit to practicing meditation for 10 minutes a day. So all you have to do for the next week is practice the mindfulness technique that I'm going to teach you. And then next week, when you get metta, practice metta for a week until the 40 days conclude. Perhaps pause the video for a second and decide when and where you're going to practice. And then come back to me. Awesome. So here we go. Eliminate the bullshit. Now we're on for the awesome 40-day meditation. What you see here is you can go to this website called chains.cc, and it's awesome. And here you can record your 40-day meditation. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the practice of falling awake. It's the practice of paying attention to the moment that is occurring right here, right now. We practice it as yogis on the mat, and doctors practice it during surgery, and athletes during competition. It is the practice of being present with the moment that is occurring right now. Like the fact that I keep repeating myself. So stay with it. Be here now. It's like the moment in that Alanis Morissette song where you're left with the emptiness. Do y'all remember that moment? Yes, mindfulness is practice. You do not need to write a thesis on the concept of no self or non-attachment to start practicing mindfulness. This is like taking 3 variable calculus before algebra. It's true, we don't have to jump the gun to understand the entire practice to be part of it. It's the same as yoga. Okay, and this cartoon's really cool. We all feel this way sometimes. People feel like they're not meditating because they keep having thoughts. And the cartoon says, I'm meditating on my inability to meditate due to the fact that when I meditate, I can't stop thinking about how I can't meditate and la, la, la. Okay, what is bullshit? I know I chose a strong word. All this stuff, both habits and thought patterns and things you choose to do and things you never do that are preventing you from living an authentic life. And I think usually it's to be said, it's the stuff that we have in our control. So in the cartoon, this snail falls in love with a tape dispenser, essentially a different species. So whether you fall in love with a tape dispenser or not, it's acknowledging the reality of what you do. Acknowledging why you do what you do. And then seeing if it is something you want to change. So how does one eliminate the bullshit? Well, I'm going to touch on a more advanced technique called vipassana in week 5. which is, I don't know, I think of it like it's kind of like the god or the grandfather of all the techniques, because it forces you to look at all the thoughts and patterns in your mind and really start to pay attention to them. And this practice itself will give you insight into what meditations you may want to start practicing regularly. And remember, it's maintaining a regular practice that's important, not how long you practice. What is an authentic life? The life you would live if you really knew deep down that you are going to die one day. Because you are. We're back, so let's get the practice on. Today will be a simple mindfulness practice, first starting by focusing on the breath and then the body. So if you'll stay with me for the next 10 minutes, close your eyes and sit up real tall and align those shoulders, drag them back over the hips and the crown of the head over the shoulders. And let's take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like that. And then begin to breathe both in and out the nose. And as you first breathe in, pay attention to where the breath goes. When you inhale, do you feel yourself expanding in the chest or more in the belly? And as you exhale, feel what draws in. Is it the belly? Is it the sides of the waist? Be receptive to noticing what's happening without trying to change it. And as you notice where you're breathing, begin to notice if there's a temperature to the breath. Is it hot or cold or just lukewarm? And after you've noticed the temperature of the breath, see if there's a density. Is it heavy like a paperweight? Or maybe a little bit lighter? Or is it got the heaviness of, let's say, a sponge? Or maybe the breath feels as light as a cloud. And then after noticing the temperature and the density, see if there's a rhythm to your breath when you inhale. At any point, does the breath pause? Or is it just slow and steady? And as you exhale, are there a bunch of tiny waves within one wave? A bunch of pauses in between? Or is it one big wave? Notice if there's a different rhythm to your inhale and your exhale. Maybe one of them is divided up, like the beats with a drum, and the other one might just feel a little bit more like improv, like jazz. And then review what you've noticed. Come back, answering in your own mind, what is the temperature of the breath? Right now, what is the density of the breath? And right now, what is the rhythm of your breath? And as the breath continues to move in and out, see if you can imagine on the inhale the breath crawling all the way to the base of your spine. As your hips ground down, and on the exhale, try to keep that height in your spine. Try not to to flight. And as you notice the movement of the breath, notice how the breath is moving in and out of your body. Just this warm container made up of muscles and bones and ligaments. And so much fluid that is housing the oxygen. And as the timer goes off, reminding us, maybe not so softly, that it's been 10 minutes, become more aware of the placement of your hands, the temperature of those hands. And as you open your eyes, take your hands to your heart. Take in the surroundings for a moment, and we will close with metta. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live a life of ease. Thanks, yogis, for starting with me today. And next week officially will be metta meditation, what we just did. That little thing, may I be happy. So I hope you will come back and stick with this practice for 40 days. Be well.